Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world watching this Ask Me Anything. I'm Robin Vogels. I'm the owner of Plan for Australia. The idea here is that I share answers to questions that I've been asked during the week in the hope that it might help you and the wider audience with things you might not have even thought of. So today I'm talking about contract negotiations. So I was having a Zoom conversation with a lady who was moving from New Zealand across to Melbourne. I should say Christchurch to Melbourne, city to city. It's irrelevant. We were talking about things that she should negotiate within her relocation budget that would really help her. So there were obviously the normal, salaries, healthcare. What does this look like? What does that look like? But there were a couple of other things that I just brought to her attention. And one was some of the upfront costs. So the costs that you might not have if you were not moving. So for example, your rent. Okay, if you were not moving, you wouldn't need to find, so in Australia, you have to pay your first month's rent in advance, and you also have to pay a bond or a security deposit, which can be another month's rent. So anything between two to 4 weeks rent, in addition to paying your rent up front. So almost needing 8 weeks of rent to put a roof over your head when you arrive. That's something people often don't negotiate within their contract. And you might have temporary accommodation, and that really helps you out so that you're not missing from one city to the next. You're not paying rent in between. But if you are moving directly across, you need 8 weeks rent, and that's quite a big substantial amount of money. Also think about things like school enrollments, uniforms. Those are all costs that are directly impacted from you taking a role in Australia. Think about the partner displacement. So if your partner has a well-established career, they're now going to have a career break. You perhaps are going to be down to a single income. Might take a while for them, depending on their industry, to actually find work in Australia. So living off a single income is going to impact you, not only financially, but mentally as well. And that brings me on to my third point, and something that you can't put a dollar amount onto, but it is that mental impact on you and your family. And I think when you're negotiating sometimes with contracts with a corporate, they might think, oh, you're being a bit of a brat, or you're just trying to get as much out of it as possible. And it's potentially those corporates that don't understand how difficult it is, the grieving process that you have to go through, the unstable environment that you're putting yourself in, the uncomfortable environment, if you like, of not having your own roof over your head, not being able to cook with your own pots and pans, finding a car, finding a house. All this has a huge toll, and I think it's important that you explain some of that to the corporate so they understand that you're not trying to be a money grabber, but you're trying to make this as easy as possible, both on your mental health and financially as possible. So I hope that's been helpful for you. Just remember, it's not a case of just go and work over in Australia, or just change here or just change there. Everything has a ripple effect, and it's important that you make everybody aware of that. If we can be of any help, please do reach out. I wish you all the best. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.